1956. As we've said a number of times, when you get to the period of the 50s, we could keep inducting outstanding track and field and indoor track and cross-country performers. The list goes on and on and on. Jim Kelley is a wonderful example of the outstanding quality of those track and field participants. He was a middle distance specialist, the 600 and the quarter mile. An outstanding athlete as a young player, a basketball player, baseball player, skated in Victory Field. But as with so many, the great Coach Gleason got a hold of him at Watertown High School, and he became a 3-season track performer. He won 4 state championships in the 600 and the quarter mile. In 1955 and 1956, he won indoor titles in the 600 and outdoor titles those same years in the quarter mile. Indeed, he was undefeated in the 600 both of those years, setting a Metropolitan League record in 1956 at 121.4. He qualified for the National Scholastic Championships at Madison Square Garden in 1955 and 56 and finished 5th in the country. Not surprisingly, he was the team's outstanding performer. Won the Booster Club Award as the male athlete contributing most to Watertown High School athletics in 1956. The Watertown High School track team, in which he was an outstanding participant, won state championships in cross country in 1953, 54, and 55. In indoor track from 54, 55, and 56. And an outdoor track in 54, 55, and in 56. Later, after graduating from Watertown High School as a member of the National Honor Society, he received an athletic scholarship to Georgetown University. He continued his outstanding academic performance and also was a participant on some outstanding Georgetown track teams. His Georgetown relay teams competed against all the top teams in the East in a variety of prestigious settings, from the Boston Garden to the Penn Relays. Return engagement for him at Madison Square Garden. 1959, a record in the VMI relays, second in the Big 51-mile relay and the Penn Relays, and placed at the National AAU Championships and IC4A events in New York. 1960, he graduated from Georgetown with an honors degree of philosophy. Went on to Boston College Law School, went on a career in law, specializing in real estate and probate matters. Served in the Army National Guard as a commissioned officer in the Naval Reserve JAG Corps, reaching the rank of Lieutenant Commander. Jim and his wife for 35 years, Joan, have lived in Mansfield and Millis for most of that time, where he served on the Mansfield School Committee some 5 years, and he still continues his career as an active athlete by participating as a skier. One of Coach Gleason's long list of great athletes and championship performers in the 600 and the quarter mile, Jim Kelley, class of 1956.
One of the pictures that was shown during the video was a picture of a 600-yard run that I was involved in, and you may have noticed, and also in the picture that is in the program, there is an official who is timing the race. That official is my father, who was Frank Kelley, who was a great fan of Watertown High School sports and was a track official for many years. And it was just great that I happened to have that particular picture that showed my dad with a little bit of a grin on his face when he was clicking the watch at the end of that particular race. The neighborhood in which I grew up was filled with great athletes. The older boys always encouraged the younger ones to join in their games. There were football games and stickball games on Bellevue Terrace, where the Renzis lived. There were street hockey games on Brigham Street, where the Shannons and the McLaughlins lived. I was always welcome as a very small boy to take part in those events. And I'll never forget it. And it's wonderful to see Gene as well as Jay, as you call him. It's a great honor, obviously, to enter the Hall of Fame tonight with Jay and to join Gene, Arthur Shannon, and Mike McLaughlin, who have been previously inducted. It's also a great pleasure that I am able to join my 1956 classmates, Paul DeSeal, Louis Romanelli, and Dave Walker, and my teammates, Dick Bartley, Nick Donito, Jay Luck, and Ronnie Young, as members of this wonderful group of Watertown High School athletes. For the honor bestowed upon me, I humbly express my great appreciation to the members of the committee, especially Sal Ciccarelli, who put up with my correspondence, Bob Trepedian, and Dick Bartley. The ability to do well in athletics is more than anything else a gift from God. And as my dad often said, don't forget to thank God. Therefore, first and foremost, I am grateful and thankful to God for the natural abilities with which I was born. In order to maximize your God-given athletic skills and abilities, you must have inspiration, encouragement, good training, and an enjoyment of what you are doing. I had all of these in abundance. The inspiration and encouragement came primarily from my father, who was a great runner at Boston College and introduced me to track when I was a very little boy, both as a competitor and as a spectator. He would take me to many meets to watch the great Watertown High teams of the late 40s and early 50s compete under Coach Arthur Perkins. And I admired the great accomplishments of Jack Warden, Bob Abbott, Ronnie Guitar, Ando Dadejian, Larry Caparella, and so many others. And my dad's inspiration and encouragement continued throughout my high school and college career. The training was provided by Coach Bob Gleason, who always had the runners in peak condition for the major meets. Training was not always easy, especially for the indoor season. When I was a sophomore, and some of you will remember this, we trained on the second floor corridors of the high school. In the following years, we trained on the outdoor board track, very often on extremely cold days. Coach Gleason made workouts purposeful and enjoyable, but also instilled a great sense of competitiveness in his teams. The recognition and honor bestowed upon him by the Hall of Fame committee several years ago was richly deserved. He was a great coach. The enjoyment came from the team members. My sophomore year, I was welcomed by the seniors, who were classmates of my brother Frank. And I was made to feel part of the group from the very beginning. As my class advanced, I hope that we were as able to make the new teammates feel just as welcome as they had made us. Our indoor teams competed in the state meets, the BAA meets, the Boston Garden, the National Interscholastics at Madison Square Garden, the Bowdoin Interscholastics in Maine. Our outdoor teams competed in the state relays in Amherst, the Penn relays in Philadelphia, the Brown Interscholastics in Providence, the state meets at Franklin Park, and the New England Championships. What group of young athletes could ask for greater opportunities? They were all provided to us by Watertown High, and we enjoyed them tremendously. On this night, I wish that my dad could be present, but I am sure that he is still watching over me with sort of a sense of pride. As a father myself, I received a great compliment the other day. I was giving my son a pat on the back for something that he had done very well. He had a twinkle in his eye, and he smiled, and he said, "It comes from the source." And I blushed a little bit. As I accept the congratulations and pats on the back tonight, I say to my father, it comes from the source, which was he. Thank you very much.